So I made that video talking about paying taxes as a content creator and how the number of taxes I owe is a lot. And everyone in the comments is like, just write stuff off. Just write stuff off. You don't think I tried to write everything off I could? Or they're like, you got to meet with a CPA. I made that video 10 minutes after getting off the phone with my CPA going over my taxes. To me, I'm just like, how are you spending that much to then write it off? Like, I don't spend that much.
Wait, okay, so the comment says, made $86,000 last year from my business, $70K, and took a $16K standard deduction, LOL. So tax-free. I'm not even mad at it, to be honest. I personally keep my business expenses low, but maybe I need to figure something else out because...
Looking back, when I went on trips and I filmed it, I was able to write that. Are you spending that much to then write it off? Like, I don't spend that much. Like, looking back, when I went on trips and I filmed it, I was able to write that off. Obviously, wrote off my phone bill, internet, Wi-Fi, that stuff. But like, I don't spend that much towards my business of being a content creator. Maybe I'm missing out on something big. And if I am, please tell me because I'm trying to save as much money as possible. I will say if you're a content creator and you don't already have an LLC and you're not set up as an S-Corp, do that now. If you didn't already, if you filed taxes as a sole proprietor versus an S-Corp, you owe way more money. If I hadn't set up as an S-Corp this past year for 2024, I would have owed an additional $17,000.
And I won't say too much, but I will say this. Yes. And this is not financial advice, but yes. Mistakes were made. Life lessons were taught. But Uncle Sam got all their money. But me, it hurt.
Which is so absurd. But yeah, honestly, I don't have a lot of tips with taxes. I can talk and share with some of what my CPA has told me. But if anyone knows how to pay as little in taxes as possible, let me know.
Guess who just learned they owe $28,000 in taxes? Guess who?
Man.
Guess who? $28,000. Okay? I've never heard of that in my life. Is that even legal? Is that even legal? I'm scared straight. I don't even really drink. I don't. But today, we're drinking.
No.
28 G's straight to the face. $28,000. I'm going to be fighting for my life. This is not coming at a good time either. I'm on sabbatical, okay? I worked my ass off last year, put myself on sabbatical, and now I'm learning, you know what, that money, not yours anymore. That's the government's. That's the government's money.
You know what? It's not even that bad as long as she actually has the $28,000 because that you don't want to go to jail. As long as you got the money, yeah, it sucks to have to give the money up. But dang it, that's the most important thing. What's that phrase? It's like, you got to pay the cost to be the boss. Yeah, you got to pay big time to the IRS.
One thing that I wish I was more prepared for when starting your own business or becoming self-employed is the amount of taxes you're going to have to pay. And I'll be honest, I wasn't prepared. There was things that I wish that I would have done sooner because I just had to send a wire for $70,000 that I owed for taxes for 2024. So this is something that I wish I would have done or that someone would have told me. But if you're starting your own business or you are going to become self-employed, please make sure if you're making $50,000 a year or more from that business, please make sure that you set up an LLC and file it as an S corporation. Because if you file it as an S corp, you won't have to pay the self-employment tax. And if you live in California, that's where I live, you will save so much on paying California taxes because I filed my S corp for 2025 in the state of Wyoming. And I believe Wyoming has either 0% or close to 0% for their state tax. I will be completely honest, seeing that amount taken from my account literally physically hurt me, and I'm still a little bit pissed off about it, which is why I'm making this video. But please, if you're starting your own business or you are self-employed, please make sure that you get that done for the following year. That is a lesson that I had to learn this year. It was a very hard lesson.
And these are just some of the hard conversations that maybe are best to be had with a CPA. Y'all, I wouldn't even take advice from people on TikTok. It's always good to hear people's perspectives and things like that on TikTok. Don't get me wrong, because a lot of people give a lot of free game. And I love stuff that's free. However, I feel like when it comes to your business or you being a content creator, if you're really serious about your craft and what you're trying to do, and if you're trying to build up from there, you're going to be possibly making a lot of money, you definitely need to be talking to a CPA. I just want to know, do she got the $70K? She looks stressed. I hope she got it. I hope all of y'all got it if you got to pay back your tax. I am wishing the best for everybody because can you imagine not knowing that you're going to pay 70 grand and you spent it or something? Oh, man, not saying that's what she did, but that would just be scary.
Here's exactly how much money I had to pay in taxes as someone that works 2 jobs plus I'm a part-time content creator because it is a lot.
and I just finished filing my taxes, so let's get into the video. I do want to clarify that I am beyond thankful for the amount of income I was able to make for the 2024 year. Never in my life did I think I could make that much. I've only ever known just working 2 jobs my whole life, 80 plus hours a week, so social media has been a blessing, but the amount I had to pay in taxes is overwhelming because I'm not used to even that high of an amount. I'm used to owing 2K, 3K, but not like the amount that I'm going to say. Please be kind. I love you guys. I made $124,362 for the 2024 year, and I owed $30,569 in taxes to the federal and state level. I haven't paid my taxes quarterly, but at the end of the year, I still owed a little bit more. So that brought that number to $30,569. That is a lot of money. Granted, I made a good amount of money. Still paying that amount of taxes, of course, as someone that has never even paid close to that amount in my whole life, it was overwhelming. It's not an easy feeling either to take in. But like I said, I am thankful for the amount of money that I was able to make. It's just insane how much you actually pay in taxes, especially because there's other taxes when it comes to self-employment taxes.
Now, she put in the video, any income from social media that I was making comes pre-tax. Hence, I was paying my taxes quarterly for any social media income, but still owed a bit more when I went to file my taxes. Well, that must have felt like a blessing, the fact that she was paying quarterly, because goodness. And if you look here, one of the comments says, never mind, I don't want to be rich. And I was just thinking, there was people who made like $7,000 or something like that on TikTok. They had to pay taxes, and some of them never paid taxes before. They're used to getting refunds. So I wonder, do people like that feel like, hey, I don't want to even try to make more money because I'm going to have to pay money? That means she's making more income than she's ever probably made. She just has to be responsible and actually pay the money she owes to the government, which I thought that's what people wanted. Because I just keep hearing people say, I want everyone to pay their fair share. The content creators getting hit hard, y'all. Y'all been seeing the videos I've been dropping. But what I'm finding fascinating about this whole thing is we're seeing more normal people becoming the ones with these large amounts of money just through TikTok content creation alone. Most of us know somebody that's making money from TikTok or social media or something. And underneath that comment, someone says, she isn't rich, she's working class. They take from them the most. That was a good little piece of change.
It's time to pay my taxes, and I know it's going to be brutal this year, so come along with me to see how much I had to pay. I have a lot of different jobs and side hustles, and I made the most money of my life last year. Good news is a good bit of my side hustles and jobs already have taxes taken out of them. I already have taxes taken out throughout the year from my financial coaching job, my job as a crisis hotline counselor, and even as a dancer, I have to declare the tips that I earn at the end of the month when I clock out. And unfortunately, some of my biggest
I don't know what's going on. This is my first time seeing the video. Y'all don't like when I talk too much. I'm gonna let it play.
income streams do not have taxes taken out, like social media or doing OF, if you know, you know. And that's where I end up owing a lot of money. I hold on to all my business expenses to use as write-offs. So for social media last year, my trip to London, I was able to use the flight, and I even used the afternoon tea that I did as a business expense. Oh my God, do you guys remember the afternoon tea? That was so fun. And then for my work on OF, basically I use all of my living expenses as tax write-offs. Because I make content in my apartment, essentially my apartment is my workspace. So I get to use things like my rent, electricity, and internet as write-offs. Before I head over to do my taxes, I just calculate everything and make sure I have all of my expenses calculated and organized and ready to go for my tax lady. I owed about $2,200 last year, and I know this year's going to be way more. I did bring them some cookies. I bought these cookies for a work thing last week, and we had some left over, so I thought it would be nice to bring them some cookies to say thank you because I know my situation is very complex. But anyways, I am packed up and ready to go. My heart is racing. I'm so nervous to see how much I'm going to owe. So upon arrival, I give them the cookies as a big thank you, and I apologize profusely because I know I'm going to be a very complicated person with my taxes. They said they rarely work with anyone who makes money through social media, so I felt kind of special. And without further ado, it is time for the taxes to begin. So she was inputting all of my numbers from all of my different income streams. She even let me film because I told her I do social media content, so that was so nice of her. She was great. She was really helpful, asking a lot of questions just so I could explain certain expenses. At the end of the day, it was pretty bad, and I owed $6,692. It's so funny because she set me up on a payment plan, and I was like, oh no, don't worry, I could pay it in full right now. This is exactly why I save my money and live frugal. For one, because I know I typically owe a lot of taxes every year, but it's such a good feeling to know, even though I owe almost $7,000 in taxes, that I have the money and I can afford to pay it, and I'm not stressed about it. Thanks for watching.
What the kids call it nowadays, lore. He was actually in the frugal video that I did. The OF shocked me. I was like, wait, what? This the dude that was talking about how to be on a budget in the grocery store. I had no idea. Honestly, his amount for taxes wasn't that bad. And I'm not saying that he can't use the money because we want every dime we can get. But $6,000, that wasn't too bad. Especially when you have the money and you don't got to set up that payment plan. Now, I thought this was very interesting because this is a breakdown of him from a content creator perspective. And that's what I really want to talk about. I don't want to get into what y'all think about certain things that were mentioned because I'm not trying to fight. I already joined the military. So no matter how we feel about it, I do like to see the business side of stuff and just keep that how it is. Now, I totally can understand if you're like renting an office space or something like that, you're writing off the whole area, but he also lives there, but he does content in the same place he lives. So I'm like, he's writing off the whole thing? I don't know, but that would be interesting. Y'all let me know down below if you create content. Do you write off your whole rent or do you just write off the area where you actually shoot?
If you're thinking of getting into the exciting world of content creation, here's a little heads up that the excitement you feel that your tax return is coming, you're never going to get a tax return. In fact, because of the income I made in content creation, I owe the government $2,000. I don't have $2,000. I mean, I like TikTok. I like making music too. But in case you want to do content creation, just remember you're never going to get a tax return again. In fact, you're going to owe the government money. If you could stick around and watch this video, I'd appreciate it, because again, I owe the government $2,000. I'll play you a little song. I'm gonna take my horse to the old town road. I'm gonna ride till I can't no more.
And I hope that this video doesn't discourage anybody from making money on TikTok because y'all, it's a blessing whenever you're able to make more streams of income. I'm not going to lie. But I think showing how people are actually having to owe money in content creation is more realistic because I know a lot of people are just like, oh, I want to stream. I'm going to get on Twitch. I want to get on YouTube. I want to get on TikTok. And they're probably not considering the business aspects of things and how the IRS literally doesn't care that you just want to make money. They want their cut. If you make money, they want a piece of your money. And while you may just be in it to just make money for yourself, the IRS doesn't care how you're going to blow your money, how you're going to spend it. He said he don't got the 2K. I don't know what he's going to do. I hope that he's able to do something to come up with the 2K. But this is just the reality of the situation, which is why I think it's important to show what that really looks like. It might be 2K, it might be 1,000, it might be 30,000. Some of the prices we've seen, a lot of people don't make that in a year, but some people are paying that just from content creation, which is wild. Also a bit inspirational to me because everybody that I've seen so far just looks like a normal person that you wouldn't know they have all of this money. But look, they are making money online from social media. I love to see it, honestly. So shout out to all the content creators. And I also wanted to add that you definitely can get a tax refund as a 1099 worker. If you pay quarterly taxes and you overpay, that is how you end up getting a tax refund. What ends up happening with a lot of us content creators and people who get 1099s is sometimes we don't pay quarterly taxes. Some people do and some people don't, which is why some people have a tax refund and some people won't. And some people will even have to pay the IRS even more money, even if they did pay quarterly taxes, because they just may have not paid enough. This is why it's good to talk to a CPA because they can help you figure all this stuff out. Now, if you are a content creator or a aspiring content creator, does this change your opinion about content creation, or do you still want to make money, or does this make you feel like, no, I don't want no parts? Also, if you're a content creator, have you paid your taxes for the year or no? And even if you're not a content creator, did you pay your taxes? Y'all comment down below, let me know. And we have to start making better decisions today in order to have a better future.